Hello, welcome to the Mert, Atan Weekly AI podcast, where we dive deep into the world of artificial intelligence. Today, we are thrilled to have Yasin Almalioglu, a distinguished AI research engineer at Helsing, whose groundbreaking work spans machine learning, computer vision, and medical AI. With a doctorate from the University of Oxford and research experiences at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and CERN, Mr. Almalıoğlu's contribution to AI have been both vastful and impactful. So, Mr. Almalıoğlu, welcome. It's really nice to have you on my podcast.
Hey Kaan, thank you. It's good to see you here, and thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for accepting. So my first question is about some of your work. Your work like EndoSlam and Endo L2H involves improving image and data quality for medical AI. How critical do you think data is for medical AI research? Are we expecting to see an increase in quality training data in the following years?
Yeah, so these works are in medical domain, and absolutely, data is the cornerstone of medical AI research.
Mhm.
And I think its quality can make or break the effectiveness of AI systems. That's like written in stone, really. Especially if you're talking about critical fields like healthcare.
Mhm.
In this work that you mentioned, like EndoSlam or EndoLTH, our focus was improving both the image quality and data integrity because in medical AI, uh, every detail matters because like your fidelity is topmost criticality because the doctors they need to decide that they need to like they are giving some critical decisions and it needs to be like detailed. So these projects required creating, enhancing data sets so that we can provide reliable inputs for like some, for example, like endoscopic capsule robots. We found that even small improvements in the data quality translated to significant gains in model accuracy and robustness, which are critical in AI. And I think medical. So I can a bit tell you a bit about the medical
Yeah.
data. So it's unique in that it needs to be exceptionally precise. That's
Mhm.
critical. Any errors or artifacts in the training data can lead to misdiagnosis or
Mhm.
ineffective treatment recommendations, like which is definitely what we don't want. High quality data allows AI systems to learn the nuanced patterns. Maybe like these are maybe difficult to perceive at the first glance by doctors. Maybe they might just be missing, so we're trying to help them. uh, so looking ahead, um, I can say I'm fairly optimistic
Yeah.
that we will see an increase in both the quality and quantity of the training data.
Mhm.
There are a few reasons for this. First is advances in the imaging technology, because it's like improving every day, such as higher resolution sensors or maybe better signal processing and stuff. These things enable the capture of clearer and more detailed medical images. And like I can say more on collaboration among healthcare is in institutions is getting more and more common. Uh, so because this is driven by a recognition of collective benefits of sharing data, because like nowadays we see this a lot, like sharing data. So the institutions they are not silo their data in bunkers and like no you can't use it like, but there is this understanding of why they're like sharing is also like it's also appreciated. We also see like initiatives, so they are trying to build large anonymized data sets, which is critical in like for to just like to preserve the privacy of the patients. So this is quite critical because capturing different demographics, conditions, and even imaging equipment, these stuff help ensure that AI models are both generalizable and reliable, like across, like regardless your demography or like imaging techniques, etc. And maybe I can finally finish your question with this, like as we continue to refine data collection and annotation processes paired with advancements in privacy preserving techniques, for example, like federated learning is an important topic in AI.
Yeah.
I believe that the coming years, we will see a surge in not just the quantity of the data, but more importantly, the quality of the medical data available for AI research. I believe this will enable more accurate, fair, and comprehensive models. So I believe ultimately this is going to lead to better patient outcomes.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. That's very hopeful. And I imagine all these like improvements coming from the increased quality and quantity of data actually will transform the healthcare industry. So I have a more general question about the healthcare industry. So as you described all the details, healthcare is one of the most impacted fields by AI. So what are the most current promising applications of AI in medicine, and how are these research that you and your colleagues conduct are being implemented in the actual industry, in like with doctors and patients?
Yeah, I can also talk a bit more about this. So in my experience, one of the most promising applications of AI in medicine is in the field of diagnostic imaging.
Hmm.
Throughout my work, um, particularly with projects like EndoSlam or like the others that we mentioned, I've seen firsthand how AI can dramatically improve the accuracy and speed of diagnostics, like
Hmm.
in a finger snap, basically.
Yeah.
For example, we have been able to develop algorithms that enhance the resolution of endoscopic images. So these made it easier for healthcare professionals to detect some sort of like abnormalities, and these can be missed by the human eye, maybe. So this is crucial for early detection of conditions like cancer, where even a slight, tiny improvement in imaging can lead to significantly better outcomes for the patient. So this is we are aware of this. Another area where AI is making a substantial impact is in personalized medicine, I would say. So personalized medicine is in like is in like I think it carries a big potential and plus like significant improvements, promising improvements like the ability of AI to analyze complex data sets like genetic information, medical history, and lifestyle factors. These are complex data in terms of like, when we're talking about combining these multimodality to a single AI model. So this is a complex task. So this enables the design of individualized treatment plans that are far more effective, I think, than traditional one-size-fits-all approach, so to say. In my work, for example, I focused on refining these models, AI models, to ensure that they are not only powerful, so that's one thing, but also efficient. I try to, for example, like leveraging some like recent techniques like parameter efficient tuning, etc., to allow these models to be adapted to individual patients' needs.
Mhm.
This approach is, I think, currently being implemented in certain oncology centers where AI models are helping oncologists to determine the most effective chemotherapy protocols based on patient-specific genetic makeup, I think. Um, on top of this, I think another area is the predictive analytics.
Mhm.
Um, I think AI in this area, AI also shows incredible promise because with the data we gather from patients, AI can help us predict potential health issues
Mhm.
before they become critical. Like
Right.
this is an important aspect. Like regardless whomever you talk like in this medical AI, they're gonna be amazed. Like if you can do it, I'm gonna buy it tomorrow.
Early
So this is the
diagnosis.
response usually you'll get. So this kind of preventive care is something that excites me deeply because of its potential to not only save the costs, but also significantly improve the quality of life. So that's the target here. Imagine, for example, like imagine AI system monitoring a patient's vital signs, and these are being able to alert healthcare providers well in advance of any acute incidents. So this is already being trialed in some hospitals, I believe, and could become more commonplace in the near future. Um, I must also talk about the AI in robotic surgery because that's critical thing.
Yeah.
Uh, for example, the works on like transformer-based large models training for SpaceX, this exploration robots of inner organs and stuff. So I saw that AI can enable robotic systems to perform highly precise movements
Yeah.
in like uncertain environments. So these same principles are being used in robotic surgical systems. So
Mm.
basically, we are talking about like more or less the same. I mean, the motivations, the methodologies are really similar. And these AI, so this AI helps surgeons perform minimally invasive procedures with greater accuracy because this is important, this is critical in medical AI.
Yeah.
So this reduces the recovery times and improving the patient outcomes, basically. While we are still in the early stages, I believe the advancements in AI and like autonomous or semi-autonomous robotic systems, I think they might one day lead to surgeries that are, I think, they're going to be safer, quicker, and maybe even remotely operated.
Yeah.
Maybe overall, so yeah, these are the areas, but
Mhm.
overall, these applications, I mean, enhanced diagnostics, personalized treatment, predictive analytics, and like the last one was robotic surgery. These are just a few examples of how AI is reshaping
Yeah.
healthcare. My work has given me so far a deep appreciation for both the potential and the responsibility involved in applying AI to medicine. Well, I must say I'm enthusiastic about continuing to contribute to this transformative
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really great to hear, especially about the personalized treatment and preventive care. I know that it's absolutely crucial, and especially problems like cancer, to like diagnose early and start to treat early, in which AI can be a large supportive agent. And so I want to ask about another use of AI, just like the robotics, which is very popular right now, especially with models like ChatGPT, which are even like an occasional workflow tool right now for many people. So, large language models like ChatGPT or Llama are being explored for generating medical reports, analyzing medical data, and assisting with clinical decision making. So, how do you see these LLMs transforming the way professionals interact with patient data and make critical decisions? How do you see the role of LLMs in the future of AI?
Oh yeah, so really good question, and I think this is in like really exciting direction. Um, I believe large language models, like I'm gonna shortly refer them as LLMs.
Yeah.
So LLMs have the potential to revolutionize the way professionals interact with the patient data and make critical decisions. I think this is in a nutshell at the answer. So, in my view, one of the most transformative aspects of LLMs is their ability to act as intelligent assistants. Synthesize. So, for example, they can synthesize, summarize large amounts of patient data in a way that is both we can understand and we can take action on.
Yeah.
This is great. In my work on, well, for example, in my recent work on vision language models, I've seen firsthand how powerful AI can be in bridging the gap between raw data and useful insights. So this capability, I think, is particularly valuable in healthcare because the in healthcare the data comes in many forms. For example, it can be clinical notes, medical images, lab reports, I don't know, like so many. And they need to be quickly analyzed and support decision making. Um, so LLMs can streamline, in other words, workflows by generating draft medical reports, summarizing some. I'm gonna just give you a bit like more examples and like more of my understanding so that I can make it a bit more clear. For example, they can summarize patient history or even highlighting critical trends across multiple data sources. Amazing. This can significantly, because like the result is going to be, so they can significantly reduce the administrative burden on doctors,
Mhm.
because it's going to give some more transparent feedback and secondary feedback on these reports. So they can, I mean, in the remaining time, like they can go play golf or they
Yeah.
can come back here and they can allow more critical work in their maybe like clinical research or something. So it's up to them. Imagine, for example, like let me give you an example. Like imagine a physician who, instead of like spending hours of manually sifting through patient records, all of them a pile of records maybe, and instead they can use an LLM to quickly generate a comprehensive summary. So this summary can highlight the most important factors for like diagnosis and treatment. um, I think this is not just a productivity boost. It can also improve the quality of care, so that the AI can bring attention to details that might be otherwise overlooked, for example. I think another thing is LLMs can play a critical role in providing decision support by analyzing data and identifying potential red flags. For example, if the LLM detects a pattern in a patient's symptoms that is
Mhm.
maybe characteristic of a specific condition, then instantly it can suggest further diagnostic tests or treatment options. This is good. Well, that said, it's crucial that LLMs are implemented as supportive tools. This is
Mhm.
critical. I want to underline this. They are in, it's crucial that they are implemented as supportive tools rather than replacements for human expertise.
Mhm. Yeah.
These models are great at identifying patterns and processing large volumes of information, but they lack the human intuition and empathy needed in complex clinical decision making.
Yeah.
So I think an an important dimension when we talk about LLMs is in this context is the interpretability of like how much, to what extent we can interpret the LLM results or what they are talking about basically. Healthcare professionals need to understand why LLM makes a particular recommendation in order to trust and act on it, because it cannot be just a black box.
Yeah.
Well, I think I can just like wrap up my answers here. LLMs can transform how healthcare professionals interact with patient data.
Yeah.
They can do it by automating administrative tasks, synthesizing information, or they can provide decision support, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good answer, especially the part where you added the LLMs are supposed to be assistants and not decision makers due to their lack of coherence and some emotional aspects involved. So beyond the assisting with diagnosis and doctor reports, which are crucial and can actually play a large and significant role in like critical processes, I actually wanted to ask a follow-up question on that comment about assistance and decision making. So,
Okay. Yeah, interesting question. So, um, so I think as LLMs continue to become more sophisticated, I see the collaboration between humans and AI to evolving into a complementary partnership. I
mhm,
think in this scenario, each one can bring unique strengths
mhm,
to the table. Like in Venezuela, for example, you mentioned like decision-making processes and etc. So in the near future, I envision LLMs primarily serving as intelligent assistants, providing insights, Maybe they can manage repetitive tasks, or maybe even they can augment human capabilities in data analysis or content generation, maybe, or even like decision-making support. Um, I think this assistant role allows LLMs to handle the heavy lifting of processing vast amounts of information and generating options. So I think in the meantime, humans apply their critical thinking, creativity, or ethical considerations to make the final decisions. So um, in, in my experience, working with some like recent state-of-the-art AI models, including like complex applications. For example, in the past, I was able to I had a chance to work on some advanced medical robots.
Mhm.
I learned that AI can perform exceptionally well in pattern recognition and processing. So there is a significant gap when it comes to making nuanced decisions because these decisions usually require a deep understanding of context, emotion, and long-term implications. Um, that said, I believe that over time, these AIs will take on more autonomous roles
Mhm.
in specific and well-defined contexts. Um, but I think the risks are gonna be lower and the rules are clearer in the domains where this is happening. For example, in areas like such as maybe customer support,
Mhm.
initial medical triage, or administrative decision making. I think, for example, AIs or LLMs, for example, could autonomously handle a wide range of tasks here
Mhm.
with minimal human intervention. Um, in the long term, I think the balance may shift more towards autonomy. But I think there will always be an element of human oversight needed, particularly for decisions that involve uncertainty, ethical dilemmas, or where a human touch is crucial, basically. Finally, the evolution of this collaboration is about finding the right synergy,
Yeah.
using LLMs to maximize efficiency and insight, while humans, in parallel, they retain the reins in areas where empathy, ethical judgment, or some sort of holistic understanding are, I think, they are irreplaceable.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree, especially the parts where like ethics and some sort of worldview have to come in part to make decisions. AI can be a supportive assistant, well, completing a task and being productive. So on the note of AI generating content, as you mentioned, currently there's a lot of talk about AI creating art, music, and even writing. So, do you think AI generated creative work will ever replace the ones that humans produce? And how do you think we can leverage AI generated content in the most effective way, creative content?
Okay, yes, yeah, that's definitely true. Like, there's a lot of talk in this. And I think I believe there's gonna be a lot of crazy. I expect some crazy advancements in this area. So, well, AI's ability to create art, music, or writing is impressive.
Yeah,
I just definitely want to say this. And we are seeing more and more examples of AI generated content. So these contents genuinely captivates people. Truly, like you can see a lot of examples, like a lot of artists or creators, they all are captivated by this work. However, I don't think AI will ever truly replace human creativity. Creativity for humans is deeply tied to personal experiences, emotions, culture, and the context we live in, basically.
yeah,
Elements, so these are the elements that AI cannot fully replicate. AI generated work lacks the emotional depth and intention that come from an artist's lived experience, because we're talking about a human life here. Human art often communicates on a deeply emotional and personal level, And that's something that I believe will always set human creativity apart.
Yeah.
With that said, AI has an incredible potential to augment and enhance human creativity.
Mhm.
So I'm not just like overlooking its great potential here. Some of the best ways we can leverage AI generated content are so these are as tools for inspiration and productivity. For
Mhm.
example, artists and musicians can use AI to explore new styles, generate unique patterns, or overcome maybe creative blocks. For example, so we can imagine a musician using an AI to generate a complex backing track, or which can
Yeah.
they build upon, or they can add personal flair and emotion that only a human can bring. I think, for example, this collaboration between human and machine can result in like way more innovative and powerful new works. Um, I think another thing that we can leverage it is I think AI can also democratize creativity.
Yeah.
The tools powered by AI allow individuals who might not have formal training in art, music, or writing to express themselves creatively.
Yeah.
So I think AI can handle the technical side of the process here. Another great application is in, I think, content generation for commercial purposes.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit more obvious, like creating graphics, video content, or writing for marketing. A lot of people do this already. Um, I mean, but here the focus is often on scale and efficiency rather than deeply personal expression or something. Well, ultimately, AI generated content is best leveraged as a partner in the creative process. It can offer fresh perspectives, it can provide inspiration, or it can handle the more laborious parts of the content creation, etc. So, the future of creativity, in my view, is a collaborative one
Yeah.
where AI acts as an enabler rather than a replacement. So that expanding what's possible and opening up new frontiers in art, music, and writing, I believe.
Yeah, thank you. I definitely agree with that. Especially on the informative side, I have used so far, I think the generative AI in terms of generating images. One instance that I used it was that in our school, in like the main entrance, we have ancient artifacts from like ancient Greece, ancient Rome, and I was making an exhibition for a project in my school. And my idea was that, these ancient objects who were like thousands of years ago, they had to be contextualized for people to really appreciate them because you see a glass of bottle from ancient Greece, which was very critical in their rituals, but you don't really see its significance while just directly looking at it. So what I did was that I used AI to portray these images in the daily lives of, the ancient Greek people and the contexts of, the ancient people. So I made AI just generate, let's say, like a Greek ritual in which, like, the ritual people hold the bottle, for example, and I printed them out and I put them next to these artifacts and I prepared an exhibition, which really helped people contextualize these artifacts. So that's how I imagine AI can be leveraged without directly blocking human creativity and to for the best of the school community. So yeah, that's one instance that I can think about. And I got one last question for you, and this will be a question that I will ask to all my, the future interviewees as well. If you had to predict and describe the future of AI in one sentence or a few words, how would you describe it? What would it be?
Okay, the most difficult question, I believe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like combining all this stuff in like one thing, and so I think the future of AI lies in creating systems that seamlessly augment human capabilities, combining efficiency, adaptability, and ethical reasoning to enhance how we live, work, and solve complex challenges.
Yeah.
That will be my one-liner and like some highlights of the future of AI in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's an excellent summary. That's like perfectly summarizes the things we discussed about. I think that's very helpful for the audience as well. Well, so that was all of my questions. Thank you so much for attending and answering these questions. Your input was very important. I assume a lot of people gained a lot of new insights about AI, about healthcare LLMs, and just general art and AI, creative AI about our conversation. So thank you so much. Um, and
Thank you, Kaan. Thank
yeah,
you, Kaan. Like this is amazing to be here with you. And like, these are important and great topics that we always need to think about, that we always need to be actively conscious and like we need to seek solutions. And it's not because like you give a single answer and then it just rests there forever. It's not like this, but usually like we need to just consider most of these questions all throughout the AI development. So thank you for bringing up all these topics today.
yeah. And for the audience, thank you for joining us on this insightful episode of Mert Atan Weekly Podcast, AI Podcast with Mr. Yasin Almalioglu. We hope you enjoyed our conversation and gained valuable insights into the future of AI. So until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world of AI.